You may be seated. This is juror number 42, Ms. Hill. You may be seated.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, juror number 42. I don't believe you raised your hand yesterday to any of the questions. Is that correct? All right. But you did tell us in your questionnaire that you have previously served on a criminal jury.
Yes.
Okay. Drug-related case. How long ago?
Maybe 30 years ago. I think it was in Judge Blake's courtroom.
Okay. And you were not the foreperson, but you all were not able to reach a verdict. How did that make you feel, the fact that you all were not able to reach a verdict?
I wasn't pleased with it, and I think the trial it had been in the court a couple of times, and I just felt like the judge thought we should have, settled it, and not being repeated over and over and over again.
Did you want to settle it?
I want to complete it, not settle.
Okay.
But complete it.
Right.
So that we're going to return.
Correct. Okay. And because you're familiar with the process, you've told us that you believe you can be true to your oath if you're selected as a juror in this case, correct? As you stand here today, you told us you don't know a lot about the case, a lot of details, but you do remember hearing about it. Is that correct?
Right.
Can you tell us what you remember hearing?
I just remember headlines about murder, I think, at a daycare or something like that. I remember the names, but not the details.
Okay. Murder at the daycare. Do you recall anything about how it may be related to what we're here to do?
No.
Okay. Did you form any opinions at all based on the information you did hear about the murder?
No. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Didn't at that time.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have any more questions.
Mr. Petrie?
Thank you. Sir, I've got just a few things I want to ask you about. Number one, you are a, I guess, scientific, technically employed person with AT&T. You're
Technical manager with AT&T,
okay.
yes.
I anticipate that there are going to be some records or possibly witnesses from either AT&T Wireless or AT&T landline type folks in this case.
Okay.
The judge at the end of the trial will tell you how to assess the evidence. He'll give you some preliminary instructions, but essentially he's going to tell you that it's up to you, each juror, to decide what evidence you believe, what evidence you don't believe, whether you believe all the witnesses, don't believe all the witnesses. So what I'm trying to ask in kind of a roundabout way is, do you think there's any problem with your looking at a witness or documents from AT&T and giving them your objective opinion and determining whether or not they're admissible, not admissible, whether or not they're believable or not, just as you would any other evidence?
I wouldn't have any problem.
Okay. You're not firmly for or against AT&T. You'd look at it the way you would any other evidence. Okay. Now, you also indicated that, and I just want Ms. Hill had gone over this. You indicated that you knew something about this case, but reading your written answer and hearing you speak to Ms. Hill, it seems like you heard about this more as it originally happened, that there was an incident, someone was arrested. As the case against the shooter developed, you didn't necessarily follow that. Is that essentially a fair assessment?
Right. I think my only recollection is when it actually happened. I remember the incident as it happened in Dunwoody the daycare. Nothing since that time.
Nothing that you heard then or read or seen at that time or since, do you feel that any of that would cloud your ability or mar your ability to be a fair juror for Mrs. Sneiderman and for the state in this case, sir?
Would not.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about your jury duty with Judge Flake.
Okay.
Weren't able to reach a verdict. In this case, as in every case, it's going to be important, and the judge will essentially charge you on the jury's duties. But one of the things that the system doesn't want jurors to do is to change their opinion just to go along with the rest of them. And in this case, because of the frustration that you felt a little bit in that case, would you still be able to, regardless of what your opinion is as to the guilt or innocence of Mrs. Sneiderman, would you be able to hold up and stand up for your opinion regardless of whether or not others might agree with that?
Yes, I would maintain my opinion and my decision.
Okay. Would you be willing to listen to the opinions of others and maybe look at your opinion again? But what I'm hearing you say is you're not going to yield your opinion just because it's different from others.
My opinion would be based on the evidence presented, so it wouldn't be
Okay.
someone else's.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Number 42, just follow the instructions of the clerk. Thanks, sir. What's the case position?
42 is qualified, Your Judge.
Number 42 is qualified.
Qualified. '43 should be next, lawyers. Come on around this hill. Should be coming in.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Ma'am, since I see that you have a cane, you can remain seated. I've been having everyone stand. I want you to be in any discomfort. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Juror 43, if I can start by asking you a couple questions based on the answers you gave yesterday, okay? Okay, you told us that if this case were to, if you were selected to sit as a juror on this case, and if the case were to go 2 or 3 weeks, that you could potentially have a conflict. Can you tell us about that, please?
I have a severe case of autism. I can't sit for long.
And what is,
If we take regular breaks, like every hour, well, I don't care. You need to take more frequent breaks than that.
Probably more frequent. I have to move around. It locks up.
I'm sorry, what locks up?
My knees locks up.
Okay. Were you in any pain or discomfort yesterday as a result of the procedure?
Yes, sir.
Are you on medication?
Yes, sir.
Did the pain get to the point whereas you were thinking more so about the pain that you were in yesterday than what you were doing yesterday?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
How much of that time yesterday were you
Because a lot, because the cold is getting worse today.
Oh, when the air conditioner's on, it affects your arthritis?
Right.
All right. Since this is July, and we're going into August, I'm not gonna turn the air conditioner on.
I understand that.
But the coolness affects your ability to be in company. Lawyers Brooke. Thank you, juror number 43. This following instructions of the clerk. Please. What's the state's position?
Your Honor, the state believes that this juror would qualify for medical hardship. We ask that she be excused for cause.
Any objection?
We concur, Your Honor.
Should be released for cause. Number 44 will be next, lawyers.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, how you doing? Good to see you. Mr. James is with you. If you could stand, sir. Thank you.
Juror number 44, I have marked down that you have a disability, you're vision impaired?
My eye in January.
Yes, sir. Which eye is it?
My right eye.
Your right eye. How would that affect your being a juror? A juror. They're going to be exhibits that are presented. There may be things up on a screen that you have to look at, perhaps even videotape. Are you able to focus on things like that?
Okay, to be truthful, I have to take it as it comes. I don't know, my right eye, I mean, my left eye is gonna get weak or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And when you say you don't know if your left eye is going to get weak, if there are long periods of time that perhaps you're focusing on something on the screen, is that going to?
That's what I meant.
Okay, all right. I also see that you have seen some media coverage about this case. Can you?
In fact, they showed this Saturday, okay, the whole episode where you, the prosecutor, you dismissed the charge because you can prove it 100%.
Yes, sir. Can you? Well, let's start there, and we'll work backwards. Tell me about what you saw that Saturday. You said.
I think it was Saturday.
Okay. Can you tell me what your general impression of what you saw was?
Well, it was an ongoing case. I heard, as the months went down, and my son cut it on, and I just looked at it, and what I got is, okay, I think it's Andrea,
Yes, sir.
and I guess the former husband's name Rusty,
Yes, sir.
and the boss, which is, I guess, worked at General Motors with her, what's his, he's an engineer, they had a relationship going on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I guess he got shot, bringing his son to the daycare, and involved in that there, I guess the old line down was the wife involved in that, just so much.
Yes, sir.
That's about it.
Okay. Now you understand that those charges, the charge of murder, is not something that's going to be before the jury in this case. Do you understand that?
My understanding is what's happening in between or what she told the court or whatever.
Yeah. How would that affect your ability to sit as a fair and impartial juror, what you know and any impression that you may have formed about this case?
Well, I'll be straight to the point.
Yes, sir.
I dealt with a similar situation like that on my ex-wife, okay, and I'm kind of leaning on a different side.
Okay, and could you tell us what side you're leaning on, sir?
My side is like guilty side.
Yes, sir. Let's be clear. I heard some equivocation in your response. You said, I'm kind of leaning on the other side, and then I asked you what side, and you said the guilty side.
Okay, let me put it to you just like it is.
Yes, sir.
It's like, my ex-wife both was in the military, retired military, okay? She cheated on me with one of my friends, okay? And when I look at that there, I'll look at it whereas something hurt me in that form, so therefore, I'm not gonna look at it whereas, it's gonna be a favor opinion for a defendant.
Okay. If you sit as a juror in this case, you're going to have to be able to look at the evidence, listen to the court's instructions that essentially going to tell you in layman's terms to view the evidence and the facts and do so fairly and set any personal feelings aside. Are you going to be able to do that?
I can't say 100% because, given the question, okay, I give a response right then.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If you could remain standing, Ms. Morgan.
Yes. Just want to make sure we're clear, because of your own personal situation, which involved a spouse who allegedly had an affair, or you said had an affair.
Right.
And one of the charges in this case relates to whether or not Mrs. Sneiderman lied about having an affair.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding, because of your own personal situation, you would not be able to judge this case fairly because of what you bring into the court. Is that correct?
Well, depending upon how the question is directed to me, I'm not trying to look at it as mine, my personal views and feelings, what I would do. I have to be trustworthy and take it for what it is.
Okay. Now, you said, though, you could not be 100% sure that you would be able to be fair in this case. Is that correct?
Well, let me correct that, okay?
Okay.
I just have to respond as it comes. Okay, I'm trying not to look at my situation because it's not my situation.
Now, when the judge asked you, and asked the whole group, remember, and he asked, is anyone here that's already formed an opinion, you said
you raised your hand as that you'd already formed an opinion in this case. Do you recall doing that?
Right.
Okay.
And I guess just while we come back to answer any other question that we change.
Mhm.
Okay, so therefore, my question out here is that I'm not forming an opinion on this case, okay? I have to take that back. That's what I'm going down here.
Okay, so my next question was, have any of your answers changed on your, since Friday?
That's one of them.
Okay, and that one is what? Just so I'm clear.
Forming, well, one, that and a couple others, whereas I've known more than what I put down.
And you know more before, because what you saw on Saturday?
Right, and what I heard previously is just that, you know, I'm here, okay, and something's presented to me. Actually, I didn't even look at the beginning of it, okay, until I read the names in between, and I said, okay, just let me put this here and leave it alone.
Okay, no further questions.
Thank you, sir. If you could follow the instructions of the clerk, please. Number 44.
Excuse me?
Just follow the instructions of the clerk, please. The young lady, thank you. Hear from the state.
Your Honor, I believe he's a qualified juror. He started down the wrong road initially. Mr. Morgan, I don't want to say Mr. Morgan rehabilitated him, but he perhaps rehabilitated himself under Mr. Morgan's examination, where he said he's changed his response since filling out his questionnaire, and that even though he has his personal thing, his personal feeling, but he has not formed an opinion, and I'll quote, as to this case at this point, and I do not believe equivocation is grounds for striking a juror for cause. I believe that opinion has to be fixed, and I don't think there's any evidence his opinion is so fixed that he can't judge the evidence fairly and impartially.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes, Your Honor, I have two concerns. The first concern is that he did say he could not help but bring his personal life and make a judgment in this case. But I have a greater concern, Judge. He's violated this court's order. My understanding was all the jurors were instructed not to watch any news accounts in this case after they were given the questionnaire. And he watched it on Saturday, obviously Washington attended. I don't think he can follow this court's order, and I would ask that he be excused for that reason.
All right, lawyers, based on what I heard during the course of this examination, I'm going to let him go for cause at this point in time. Bring in the next juror, please. Attention, juror. Juror number 45. You may continue.
So, juror number 45, your response to question 8 that says, do you have any difficulty reading, speaking, or understanding English? You responded yes. Okay. What is your native language? French. And how long have you been speaking English? Almost a year. Okay. You came to court and you came to the jury assembly room and you filled out a questionnaire. And I'm looking through this. Did you have any problems reading this questionnaire? Some. How about yesterday when you came in here with a larger group and we asked questions, the state asked questions, and General Vordaer, the defense asked questions. Did you have any problem understanding our questions or the court's instructions? Okay. Was there anything in particular that you didn't understand? Can you tell us what part you didn't understand?
Like I didn't understand really the case when the judge was reading the case.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't understand it.
Are you
I could not understand.
I understand some, I didn't understand all.
Are you having any problems understanding me right now?
No.
Okay. So if someone is speaking English at the normal pace that I'm speaking at right now, I presume then you can understand it.
Yes, I can.
Okay. I am looking at the questionnaire and I don't...
Excuse me, did you say French is your first language?
French and Arabic.
And Arabic is your first and second language?
I just became citizen a few months ago.
A few months ago? Well, that's fine. Just to make sure you can understand what is being said in court. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Is there anything else about you that we should know that's germane to this process? Anything you could think of? Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Well, lawyers approach. Mr. Petrie, any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much, Juror 45. Following the instructions of the clerk. What's the state's position?
I believe the defense is going to make a motion for cause. The state consents to the defense's motion for cause based on the language there.
That is a correct representation.
I will accept that motion. Will we release the cause? Number 46 is next, lawyers.
Your Honor, may I?
You may. Mr. Jones.
You have indicated, I'm looking at question number 33, juror number 46, and if I'm reading it correctly, it says you're intrigued and excited, a little nervous about the process to be a juror, since this is the first time ever been called before. All right.
I've never before been called to be a juror, so so far it's been an interesting process, and my nerves are definitely still